meets Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord? It kind of. It's sure starting to look like that. No matter what the developers say that this is not inspired by Skyrim, it's still been put on the Skyrim-like games section of Steam, so there's something to be taken from that comparison. Stormrite is an upcoming open-world action RPG set in the dark fantasy medieval kingdom of Redreach. You will play the role of a young squire, exploring a mysterious world full of chaos and conflict, learn the powers of the ancient ruins, become a feared warrior, or take part in large-scale events that will shape the future of Redreach. With multiple endings to all questlines and a rich character progression system to decide how you interact with the environment and its inhabitants, you have the power to decide your role in the world of Stormrite. This is looking goddamn gorgeous. I saw some of this gameplay on Twitter and I just thought, I have to make a video on this. Okay, look, we have this third-person perspective. We have this combat system. There's even completely new and reworked archery systems that we've just been showcased, and I'm really getting some Mount & Blade vibes, but we are in an open-world action RPG with magic, so it would be unfair not to showcase some of the Skyrim comparisons as well. But before we look so deeply into the gameplay, let's talk a little bit about the story first. Across the land there were mysterious, ancient drawings that hinted at the existence of some greater being. A being that could control the time, the earth, the underworld, and anything else the human mind could perceive. There were stories of it creating tornadoes, raising demons from the earth, and stopping time altogether. This being was feared across the land and worshipped by those who were too afraid to oppose it. They call it Rector. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. The game itself is going to be a complete open world, bigger than most, but within it they're hoping to stop it from becoming those generic sparse RPG open worlds where you're running for hours and hours and you end up getting bored because there's nothing to see. It's going to be full of landmarks and civilizations. You're going to be able to trade with people along the way and people that you meet in your journey to gain relations with. You will begin in the small mining village of Silverhorn, a quiet settlement that's being terrorized by bandit travelers attempting to take control of the nearby silver mines. Whilst helping defend your neighbors from these thugs, you will discover dark secrets about the village and its residents, and its ties to the legendary tales of Stormrite. The lore of Stormrite is going to be a massive focus here. Of course, we are based in this fantasy world with magic and beasts, but the background and history to this world is going to be so in-depth, but it is your prerogative to find that out yourself. Everything from different types of enemies to the wars that have gone on in the past, hunting for treasures and going on quests. There'll be various weapons that you can use, from swords, spears, axes, shields, to bows, or of course magic if that's more your route. You're able to use different spells with different skills, whether they're passive, healing abilities, or of course attacking, shooting spells, a bit like Harry Potter where they end up just using spells as guns. Why don't they just use guns? Surely it'd be easier. Come on, Hagrid. Magic users can choose to cast spells that directly affect their enemies, summoning companions to fight or manipulating the very fabric of the world around you. But you also have the choice to go down that melee route, and there is just as much of a plethora of options there. 5 fighting styles to choose from and abilities to aid within your battles. There's a complete companion system, just like I mentioned before. These companions can follow you around and they can be summoned by said spells. They will travel with you or fight alongside you if you so wish, being on the front line or being passive helpers and healers if that's more your gameplay style. Speaking of fighting, we have a small look at the combat system that is being created. It looks incredibly slick, and whilst I have questions about the decision to go third person with this combat style, it still seems to be implemented pretty well. You see the ability to block and attack, and enemies do have that ability to hit their friend if they so wish. Maybe the AI might need a bit of work. The first teaser trailer came out on the 5th of May 2022, showing us this world of Stormrite that is being created, from the depths of the darkest mines to the high top mountains, exploring and discovering. I love the mix between medieval inspired armor to the fantasy setting of things like The Witcher and Skyrim that are melded together to create this living and breathing world that Stormrite is attempting to create. There will be wildlife. You can go hunting or you can be hunted. Dragons, fire, ice, swords, magic. It doesn't get much better than this, and goddamn does it look gorgeous. I love the variety of the environments that they're going for, whether it is on the dusty and dark mountainsides to the snowy and foggy, dangerous Alp-like scenarios. Later we got a better look at the magic and spell casting. You can see the selection of different variations, from fire spells to even ice spells as well, to what I assume are more volatile magic missile type weaponry conjures. And I don't know about you, but I'm an archer guy myself, and this archery system looks a lot of fun. Now, something that you might have noticed is you could press X to loot, which I'm assuming means that this game might also be coming to console. If anything, whilst it's on Steam, it will be available to play with a controller, which adds the possibility to expand that into the future, whether we do go to the console market as well. I'm looking forward to seeing how hunting really plays a part in the game. Is it going to be paramount to your survival in this RPG world, using for trading and things like that, or is it just going to be a bit like Ubisoft games where it's an option but you can ignore it if you so wish? The game has racked up a ton of popularity so far on Steam, and whilst we don't have a release date solidified in yet, the developers are being very active with updates and posts, blogs telling us about what they've been working on lately, and of course more information, more gameplay, and more looks into this massive world. I adore this Steam trailer because this gives us a better look at the bigger and wider scale that we're going for with this open world game here. We've had a look at the magic and the combat and even some of the NPC dialogue and trading, but to get a real look at the environments, the architecture, the design and terrain that this world of Stormrite is creating is really important to getting the feel and the type of game that we're going for here. Yes, it's been compared to Skyrim multiple times. Yes, it does have similarities to that of Mount and Blade with its combat systems. However, Stormrite seems to be carving out a different path, something to give its own unique spin on this open world RPG genre, and I think it's doing a fantastic job of it. Because it's coming, and boy, can I not wait for this one. This has been Stormrite. Let me know what you think. It is on Steam if you want to wishlist it and support the developers, but I have absolutely no affiliation with them. I just enjoy reviewing games like this. I feel like I just need to disclaimer that sometimes. But thank you for watching, and until then, I will see you in the next one.